Hey everybody, hope you guys are healthy and safe. So this is the Feiyu Scorp Mini. As you can see, this is a gimbal and it is a really relatively small size, lightweight gimbal. Lightweight, small size gimbal are not that uncommon. They're usually used to support smartphones or really small cameras like the Sony ZV-1 that I'm shooting with right now. But what makes the Scorp Mini special is its payload. It's actually up to almost 3 pounds. So that means it is strong enough to support my Sony A7C with a 20mm lens. So this is a full frame Sony camera. Most gimbals this small cannot handle this body and lens, but this one can. So the Feiyu Scorp Mini is going to retail for around $299 US, but I think right now this is going to go on crowdfunding first, and it's going to have an early bird price of $199 US. And for that price, you get this gimbal along with this little tripod and a smartphone camera mount too, which I'll get to later. But first, let's test out balancing my Sony A7C on this small gimbal. Oh, and by the way, the footage you're watching right now may be a little bit shaky because my girlfriend's holding the Sony ZV-1, and the Sony ZV-1 has absolute terrible stabilization. So that's why a gimbal is necessary for cameras like this. So my Sony A7C is already on this quick release plate that comes with this package too. This is part of the Feiyu Scorp Mini package. Screw it tight. So the key to balancing a gimbal is to just have that camera be able to stay somewhat upright like this even when I'm not holding it. So right now obviously it's too heavy up front, too heavy to the left. So what I can do is move this plate back a little bit to put the weight back a little bit to the back, and now it's a little bit better, but it's still too heavy to the left. Then I just need to loosen this knob, push this out a little bit. See, it's a lot better now. Now it's a little bit too heavy to the right, so then I push this back in a little bit this way. So it's just about fine-tuning, finding that perfect balance, as Thanos would say. So right now you see it's already done. So balancing is relatively easy. There's a power button right here. I just have to long press on this power button to turn on the gimbal. And that is it. It is in balance. So right here you have a pretty large LED touchscreen, one inch, that allows you to change the modes immediately. So you can go to point follow, point of view, all that usual stuff. Auto calibrate your gimbal if you feel like the motor isn't working as efficiently as it should. So it's calibrating right now. Okay, finished calibrating, so now you know the motor has been optimized for this weight. Now there are a couple of cool shooting modes you can do, including auto rotate. So I tap auto rotate, the camera will tilt out like this. And I can tap on like directions, like counterclockwise, and you see it will start rotating like this. So that allows you to shoot these pretty unique perspective videos. But obviously the best way to film like this is not pointing straight up, it's to hold it like this. So this is, you know, you can shoot down a narrow corridor hallway like this, and that's how you get that Inception look, like when Joseph Gordon-Levitt was flipping upside down. Now you can already see that holding the gimbal like this, it's a little bit stressful on my arm. So that's why Feiyu built this little handle that's much better. The balance of the weight's much better, and it allows me to hold it easily and get these low angle shots like this. Okay, so I'm gonna run up these stairs with my Sony A7C on top of this Feiyu Scorp Mini. We'll check how good stabilization is. So another useful trick you can do is motion time lapse. So I just tap on time lapse, motion lapse, and here I can set all the settings like time, interval, all of that. And I just have to set the position that I want to begin the motion. So let's say I want to start by shooting here. I just tap plus. That position is locked. That's the beginning position. Then I want it to pan a little bit to the right, like this. Then I hit the plus again. That's the second position. And let's say last position, I want it to tilt upwards towards the sky. Then I just hit plus again. If I hit start shooting right here, it will start shooting in that motion I tested. And you can see the big screen shows you the status. Okay, so let's look at the body of the gimbal. So the reason I say the Scorp Mini is relatively lightweight is because the body is actually made of plastic. Unlike the GN Crane M3, which I also tested last year, that one had an aluminum body, so it's a little bit heavier. Now I gotta admit, the plastic does make it feel a little bit flimsier, but I'll take it because it makes for an overall lighter package. Like, this is an easier gimbal to hold than the GN Crane M3, and it also supports my Sony A7C with 20mm. Now there is one shortcoming that I've already noticed. So if I triple tap on the trigger, it will switch into selfie mode. And selfie mode, you know, is for people to walk and talk, but this handle actually gets into the way. So if I am filming a video and I do this, the handle gets into the way, which is, I do this quite a lot. I'm walking and talking like this. So the only way around to get around this for me is I have to not use selfie mode, go back to normal shooting mode, and then just kind of flip the gimbal around like this. It's a little bit awkward like this because now the trigger is in front of me, but this does a much better job. I can walk around like this and it gets pretty stabilized footage, as you can see. So obviously this Feiyu Scorp Mini can handle my Sony A7C, but Feiyu is also advertising this to be smartphone compatible, and this little smartphone clip comes with the package. I mean, do I really need to test this? If it can handle my Sony A7C, then of course it can handle a smartphone. And I don't even think you have to really spend time balancing a smartphone, and it will balance. I mean, a smartphone is so light, I don't think you need to do any type of balancing before.
So Feiyu also has a companion app called the Feiyu On. You just need to connect to your gimbal via Bluetooth, and once you've connected, you can control the gimbal via the viewfinder of your phone.
So yeah, this is the Feiyu Scorp Mini. It's probably the smallest, most lightweight gimbal that can support a full-frame Sony A7C with a pretty large lens. The GN Crane M3, as I said, can also support my camera, but the GN Crane M3 weighs about 1.7 pounds, whereas this weighs less than 1.5 pounds. So this is really lightweight, and you can put this into your backpack with you all day and you won't really notice it. So this is all you will need to get smooth and stable videos, because with Sony cameras, unfortunately, if you're shooting handheld, like what my girlfriend's doing right now, the Sony ZV-1, the stabilization is pretty bad. I'll show you. Elizabeth, can you please stand up? So you see, even minor movements like this, it's a lot of shaking. So to be honest, the best way to film this video would have been to put this onto this gimbal, but I only have one of these gimbals right now to show on camera, so I can't put the ZV-1 on that. So yeah, this is the Feiyu Scorp Mini. I think it's a really good gimbal to have if you're a content creator, but you also don't want like a really bulky setup. Like if you're a one-man video crew like I am right now, I mean, today I have help, but usually I'm a one-man video crew, and it's just good that I can just bring this, and I know I can get some relatively clean looking, smooth looking footage. So anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching.